Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they're live. There's also a PayPal, Patreon, and crypto link in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion right here, right now, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. I'm going to do a quick shout out to all of my lions on the Nathan Oakley 1980 channel membership. So shout out to FE Diplomat, Anaconda Malt Liquor 17, Daz Studio 68, Burn Fat Till My Stomach Is As Flat As the Earth, Rhett Priestley, Wind Rider, All People, Free People, Eagle Plane and Anger, and is it Contrapian? I can't pronounce that, I'm really sorry, but thank you very much indeed to all of my lions. Really appreciate the support. Now, we are joined by a whole bunch of people in both Discord and G Plus panels, so welcome one and all.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Black Swan. Woo, woo.
Black Swan.
Speaking of black swans, any evidence of a physical geometric Earth curve obstruction capable of measurement? Hey, Sleeping Warrior.
Hey.
Are you back at home?
I am.
I need to grab some documents off you for JLB. So I promised him I'd get him. Say again?
The three that you were asking for the other day on refraction.
You've got it.
Okay, I can do that.
Perfect. I don't know how to forward it. Maybe I've got him on Skype. I can't remember. Anyway,
I'll
any signs of Earth? Any signs of Earth curvature?
For me?
Yeah. Have you been around the block a bit? You might have seen some Earth curvature, for all I know.
I didn't realise we were live. Are we live now?
We are
you
indeed
are.
live, Anthony.
So,
Sorry.
what curvature did you find, Tony?
Put your pants on. Put the dog down. We're live.
Naffle.
Any signs of axial rotation?
No.
Not of the Earth-based variety.
What about scientific evidence of gravity?
None.
Well, there's always the bending of the conceptual medium, and I don't know, maybe they can find the geometric curve in there still.
The geometric horizon might be found in the bending of space-time. I think not.
Yes.
Well, maybe. You could
Yeah.
conceptualize it, I suppose. Any single viable hypothesis from any of the fields of astronomy, cosmology, or astrophysics?
None. Shout out to Danny Faulkner.
Well-
who thinks that you can.
Real quick, Arwen's not too off, because it would be the bending of the conceptual medium that would give the creation to this geometrical horizon, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I suppose
Do
you're
you
right.
I got
see
you.
it?
Yeah,
Do
you're
you
not
see
wrong.
it?
I got you.
It's the next step in the devolution of the globe in religion.
I got you, man.
It's always in the last place you look.
Any chance someone can continue with the housekeeping? I've got someone cleaning my windows right outside.
Can I do a
Any-
2-second debunk of unorthodox? I did a 2-second internet search, and I found what does installed mean in 1969? Can you please answer that?
If he's still here, he's still in it. Unorthodox.
He wants me He's doing a debunk, he said.
Well, you said that these oil platforms might have moved.
I said typically seafaring oil platforms can move around.
What does installed mean? If you look at Nathan's screen, the live stream, what does installed mean?
I don't have his live stream up.
He doesn't know. He's an engineer.
Okay.
50. I really want you to think about that.
I mean, I could be wrong. I'm open to being wrong.
Well, I mean, let's use some common sense here, though. You claim that the oil platforms are floating and moving. Now, what does it take for them to drill down to the ground and get the oil out? Do you think that this is a bendy tube of some sort, or do you think it's a solid steel pipe?
Well, when they move from place to place, they drill new pipes and they put new fixtures in. But it moves from place to place.
What about these specific platforms?
I would have to research them.
Detailed with us. A little specificity would help, wouldn't it?
I think there is some flexibility to them,
You
but
didn't
it's
measure
not
them regardless. So
literally
you're going by the official sources on this.
No, I measured it. How many times do I got to tell you? You pull up Google Earth, right? You hit line. Then you start from point A and you stretch it to point B all of a sudden, and then in the meta information, it has distance. Next block of instruction, how to turn a light on Thursday afternoons.
So your
Friggin'
proof.
retard.
So your proof that the globe isn't real. You use the globe to prove that the globe isn't real.
That's not a globe.
Google Earth is a globe.
No, it's not.
Countermeasure alert. Whoa.
It's a sphere.
So now we're on to arguing about what Google Earth is. Right. I've
Not
got
a ground
this in the
level.
pre-show.
Sorry.
Unless the distance is less than 1.5 miles, which is where the geometric horizon should be there or thereabouts, depending on how many inches off the ground you want to claim he is. Unless you're going to put those platforms, which were installed in the 70s and haven't moved since, at 1.5 miles, even then it wouldn't change the argument, because the distance is still considerably beyond that where the geometric horizon would be. So it makes no difference where they are to the argument. Literally none.
Doesn't matter where they are.
No. Unless you're
He's
claiming they're before. Unless you're claiming they're before 1.5 miles, so you're claiming they're only a mile out from this beach. Is that what you want to claim? Then you might be able to wingle this argument somehow, but I don't think you're claiming they're less than a mile away.
I don't see environmentally how they would have an oil platform within 2 miles of.
Didn't hear that. Brian Rumpus, you say it again, Unorthodox.
I said I was just curious who measured it that day, because Quantum Racer's modus tollens
That
rests
day?
on a measurement.
You don't have to measure it that day. The
horizon was different that day.
Are you that stupid that you don't understand this concept of measuring?
The horizon was different that day.
Thanks. Welcome to Flat Earth.
Right?
Yeah, welcome to Flat Earth.
Your argument rests on the measurement to the horizon.
He isn't measuring the horizon. Right, nobody needs to measure the horizon to know it's beyond...
Do you want me to read it to you?
Listen, nobody needs to measure it to know it's beyond the oil platforms. Now, unless you're going to say that a geometric horizon is what it is, and it's actually because the oil platform's less than a mile out, and it's actually a 1.5 mile geometric horizon as required. Unless you're claiming that, this whole premise of your rebuttal is useless. Now, let's be honest, they've been installed since the 70s at the distance that they claim to be, and it's definitely not less than a mile, so you're not going to wangle any sort of argument out of this. Just give it up.
I don't trust the government, Nathan.
Well then, good for you.
Oh, now you don't trust the government. When you were in here last time talking about, what's wrong, guys? You don't trust.
What does the government have to do with measuring from the frigging shore?
Countermeasure.
What does the government have to do with measuring from the shore to the oil platforms?
You didn't measure.
Whatever. This is useless.
God.
Weak argument.
You used that computer program.
Weak.
Seek a frontal lobotomy ASAP.
I think you need to look up the term measurement.
Jolly good. So
Unorthodox. Who measured the radius of the Earth? Unorthodox.
Yeah, where
who
did
gave you that
measure
measurement?
radius to get the geometry from?
That
Good point,
day.
Chocolate.
I think my mother did it in like 7th grade.
Oh, right.
Oh, your mom did. Okay, great. Yeah.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Awesome.
They did
You're
an
useless.
experiment
You're useless.
by a bloke named Eratosthenes, I think.
You're useless, Unorthodox. This is a weak argument.
It's not my argument. I'm talking about your argument, the Modus Tollens argument.
A weak rebuttal.
So apparently you don't understand it still. That's what's going on here. Then.
Wow. He's trying to attack academics itself now, it seems. Doesn't like it
How
anymore.
am I attacking
Now that he
academics?
can't use it to
Are you claiming you guys are academics?
to weave like a magic wand and be all superior. Now that the actual academics are coming forward, you're attacking it. It doesn't mean anything anymore. Just like science doesn't prove anything anymore. It's like every time somebody actually gets the real thing, suddenly you don't need it anymore. Suddenly it doesn't mean anything anymore.
So Google
Very
Earth bug.
typical.
Right.
So Google Earth
All
bug,
this
is
time we've been asking them how do they get that? How do they measure that radius? Right. We don't let them presuppose anything. Now we presuppose it to formulate it into an argument based on geometry, and look what happens. All of a sudden, they deny it. I mean, it's pathetic.
Nobody's
You realize
denying
that
it.
unorthodox. You're denying the geometry of your model.
Like, that's kind of our thing. That's what makes us Globers.
Say that again.
It's our thing.
When have you ever heard a Glober deny the radius? Like, that's what makes us Globers. It's like saying a Christian doesn't believe in Christ.
That's what you're doing. You're denying the radius. The radius gives you a geometric horizon.
I'm not
And
denying
you guys
the
are
radius.
all denying it currently.
Yeah, the radius gives us
A geometric
a
horizon.
point to calculate from. You're correct.
A point to calculate
It's a
from that you don't
calculation.
have. So it gives you a point to calculate from. Something you'll draw a tangent line to. Because you're asserting that the world is the physical geometry of that model. Yet you don't have a geometric horizon to draw a point to make the mathematics from. That's the whole point of this argument.
There's a serious cognitive break going on here. He can't get the model in his head and the real world apart. And there's this clear connection we're pointing at in the middle, and he just can't keep them apart. This is like psychosis.
That's their thing. They reify
Yeah, I
model.
know.
That's their thing.
Me actually wanting to deal with optics as optics is psychosis.
No, it's not an optical model. Oi, bonehead. Sorry, an optical model would have apparent sizes. It's not an optical model. It doesn't deal in apparent anything. So let's not lie about what your model isn't. Definitely not optical. It's no apparent sizes in there, is there? It's geometric.
I just did a Google search
It's geometric.
for that term.
It's geometric, not
Yeah,
optical. Our argument would be optics. Your argument would be physical geometry, based on your
And
model.
your argument precludes optics.
Why are you talking through me, fuckwit? Asshole, your model is based on physicality and geometry. The geometric horizon is based on your radius value. And you're relinquishing it when you tell us how non-physical, non-geometric the reality of the horizon we experience actually is. So you don't have the physical point of a geometric horizon to base the maths on if you don't have a geometric horizon. Game over, checkmate, no longer got anything to base this maths on, no longer got a physical sphere edge for boats to go over, no longer got a physical sphere edge horizon to block the bottom of the Isle of Man in the distance with its 170-foot wall between us and it, with its physicality and its physical geometry. Definitely not optical, though. That would be our argument. We talk about needing perspective. That would be apparent sizes. Well, your apparent horizon and your now claim of everything needing to be apparent isn't factored into physical geometric calculations. Or you'd have the apparent sizes, and you don't. Now, the fact that things get smaller with distance is a far more prevalent effect of optics and reality than anything your model has ever had to offer, What your model offers is 100-foot lighthouse is 100 foot if it's right in front of you and you're lifting your head up to look at the top of it, or it's a bazillion miles away. It's still 100 foot in your maths. That's why you morons utilise this maths that excludes perspective. That would be apparent in capitals, sizes. It ignores them. And then you say, why can't we see New York from London? And the reason is because your model excludes apparent sizes. It would be too small. Things get smaller with distance. Ignored and labelled Earth curvature with a horizon that's geometric. It's in the model, marked with an X with the word horizon next to it. It's an absolute necessity for a physical, geometric assertion that Earth is a sphere. You don't have to like it. We don't have one.
Done preaching. Okay.
Stop preaching. You're the one with the religion. You're the one with the religion, not me.
Come from our science, Nathan. Those are borrowed from us. Apparent size, right? Angular diameter. Those are our terms.
They're not in your calculator, fuckhead. You think when you're asking us why there's 20 feet obscured or why there's 70 feet obscured, that's dealing with angular sizes, otherwise known as apparent sizes? You think that's in your geometric maths, do you? No, moron. Your maths for a physical geometric sphere Earth. I say it again while he tells me I'm preaching, because he didn't listen and talk through me. Oi, brain dead moron. Your maths isn't dealing in apparent anything. It's dealing in physical, geometric sizes that are actual. Not apparent. Not optical. You are wrong. Your religion, before he starts fucking talking through me, requires a physical geometric horizon. It's in your model, marked with an X. I am not preaching. I am telling you that which you are now denying. The necessity for a geometric horizon. To block boats from the bottom up as they go over it. To block beaches with its physical geometry. And to bend into a sphere when you visit a thermodynamics violation sky vacuum you'll never go to. All of those things are geometric and physical, not optical, not apparent. Your maths doesn't deal in the apparent anything of the actual world we experience.
Yeah, you have a complete and utter retarded misunderstanding of what...
That's an ad hominem attack. So about 6 times in a row we've had fundies come here, they've got nothing to offer to my argument and they ad hom me as a response. He's claimed, we're ultimately responsible science, us fundy globeheads, we're science, and we're responsible for optics. Then I point out that his moron muppet maths doesn't have optics accounted for, and optics would be apparent, the buzzword amongst religitard moron globeheads that insert an apparent term where it's already apparent by nature, to give them a second horizon they don't have, but is absolutely required in their mathematics of physical geometry. But it doesn't have any optics in it. It doesn't have apparent sizes. Response, you're a moron.
What do you think the horizon is in our model, Nathan?
That's a non sequitur question that doesn't address the fact that you don't have a geometric horizon anymore. Your geometric horizon's been debunked and you're denying it left and right, and then asking me what the horizon is. I don't care what the horizon is. I know it's not a geometric boundary. I know it's not physical. I know it's not the edge of a sphere, radius 3959 miles. That's what I know it isn't, because if it was, it would be obscuring things. And by virtue of the black swan, we've debunked sphere-based geometry. No sphere geometry, no sphere. Welcome to flat Earth.
Well, it's not proof, Nathan. It's not science.
Right, it's a logical consistency that proves beyond certitude that the horizon's not physical. It's proof. Yeah, it is proof.
You guys think.
Yeah, wow. Because who claimed this was science, unorthodox?
You, science.
No, I'm not claiming. I'm saying it's not science, so it's not proof of anything.
So what? The assumption of a physical geometric horizon we don't have is science.
No, you're
wait, unorthodox. So now you're saying that science does prove things? Because I remember clearly you guys saying that science doesn't prove things. So which is it now?
It's a countermeasure. I don't argue about what science does or doesn't do. Science proves cause and effect relationships, which this is not. This is a logical consistency. If we've got physicality, it's got constraints. If those constraints are breached, then we don't have a physical geometric horizon anymore. That's why you're all telling us, with this redundant term, how it's apparent, and talking through every last breath of me trying to tell you that apparent is redundant. Your geometric model has an apparent position where the sky meets the ground, and that apparent position is based on height.
Nathan, you keep repeating the same thing over
I just want to shoot down this little countermeasure that he's trying to use, because it's like now they're running back to, oh, science proves things, and now this can't prove anything because it's not science. It's not even, you're not even low on Orthodox. Your bullshit is out on display for everybody to hear and see. It's just nonsense, man.
You guys have been preaching this for 2 or 3 years now. If it's not science, it can't prove something. Don't change your story now.
No, if you claim science, which you do and have here. Now, we're not going to take apart your bullshit assertion that your model's scientific. It isn't. It's not a cause and effect relationship. It's a reification based on an R belief that is now untenable. Your R gives you a geometric horizon that you're all denying.
I just want to be clear, this isn't proof, because it's not scientific evidence.
Sorry, scientific evidence is a cause and effect relationship being established with independent-dependent variables, and ruling out your independent variable or validating it is that which causes the effect. That's science. This isn't science. Nobody's claiming it's science. The only person here claiming science is you. You say your model, which is based in geometry and mathematics, is science. You're the only clown here who's claiming science. Now, we're not going to take apart your stupidity and claim that this model is science. It's not. It's not establishing cause and effect. You're stupid and think it's science. We, on the other hand, aren't claiming science where you are, because you're a moron. We're claiming logical consistency based on geometry and physicality that your model would require and does not have.
The air causes light to bend, so why aren't you claiming science?
So is the horizon refracted?
Yes, the air causes light to bend.
So the horizon is refracted? Yes. So it's not geometric?
Oops.
Whoever said it.
Yo! Morons! If you come here every single day telling us that the horizon's refracted, I'm just going to stop you in your tracks. You're going to have this dumb fuck silence like unorthodox, where you say nothing for 3 or 4 seconds, and then realise the stupidity of your argument. You require a geometric horizon!
Hey, a little louder, Nathan.
Yeah, you're a moron. You fuckwits come here day after day telling us how it's refracted. If it's refracted, it's not geometric. We've only got one horizon. Yours is geometric.
Nathan, let me spell that for you, okay?
Let me stutter a few more times while I tell him again. We've only got one horizon, and your model says it's geometric. That's just not what we have in reality. How many bloody times are you going to come here and argue for a refracted, non-geometric horizon? How many times is this going to happen? Are you all this stupid? Every fundy comes here with the same crap argument, arguing against us having a geometric horizon, which is a necessity for a geometric sphere model.
Nathan, you are so pretending. I know you understand this.
See, that's another ad hominem attack, claim I'm acting. That's not addressing my argument. You've just told me how we've got a refracted horizon. Refracted, therefore not geometric. Long pause, and then a string of ad homs.
Let me explain it, then you tell me where I'm going wrong, okay?
You're not acknowledging a word I've said, and now you want time to explain something. You haven't said, yeah, I understand, my model requires a geometric horizon. It's marked with an X with the word horizon next to it, and we don't have 2, as is geometric. But I'm going to claim it's refracted. Well, refracted isn't geometric. Long pause, now you want to explain something to me. No, actually acknowledge one word I've said. The reason I'm exasperated is because you don't acknowledge a word I've said. You've just argued against having a geometric horizon. That's your argument. And your model requires one, you idiot.
You can actually let me speak this time?
Are you going to acknowledge a word I've said this time, or are you going to ignore every word I've said and move on to the same point, reversed, reiterated, and stated again, without acknowledgement of a single smegging word that I've actually said to you? Which is it going to be? A complete ignorance of my point and a move on, or are you going to acknowledge what I've just said?
I acknowledge what you just said.
What did I say?
So can I actually talk now?
Once you've acknowledged what I've said.
Just mute me again?
I'd just like to hear you acknowledge what I've said.
I acknowledge what you said.
That's not acknowledging it. That's saying you acknowledge it.
I'm saying I acknowledge it, Nathan.
What are you acknowledging?
What you said.
What was it that I said?
I didn't write it down word for word, Nathan.
Well, then go and get a fucking pen. And go and get a pen. Right. Go and get a pen, you bunch of fundy morons. I'll wait a couple of seconds for you all in the audience and unorthodox to go and get a pen. I've said it in comments about 50 times in the last week. Get a pen. If the horizon is refracted, it's not geometric.
Can you do that a little louder? I didn't hear you, Nathan.
Yeah, that's because you're a stupid deaf moron with a model that's dying, that has a geometric horizon we don't experience in reality. You're deaf to it because your model's dead. You don't want to hear it.
Nathan. The light refracts off of the physical...
So it was option B. Reverse and reiterate the point that he made already and hasn't acknowledged a single bloody word I've said. So he's going to argue for the second time in a row that it's a refracted horizon, ergo not geometric.
The light refracts off the geometric horizon.
Third time in a row, he's stuck record now. Stuck record, round and round and round he goes, telling us that the refracted horizon is what we experience. A refracted horizon's not geometric. He hasn't acknowledged my exasperation. That's why I'm getting so annoyed.
You telling me you can't understand one sentence?
Yeah, I understand you telling me that we get refraction in the air. I've asked you specifically, is the horizon refracted? And you said yes. Then I've pointed out that it's not geometric then. You haven't acknowledged that point. You've got into a stuck record mode where you repeat the same shit over the top of me and don't acknowledge that if you've got a refracted horizon, it's not the geometric requirement of your model.
Try again on that.
They're two different terms, Nathan.
They're different terms.
You understand that?
Different terms.
Yeah, do you understand that?
Sorry, different terms.
They're two different things.
Do you want to expand on that total vague nonsense? Different terms. Wow, how specific. Yeah. I'll rebut that. No, they're not different terms. I've no fucking idea what terms you're talking about. You blithering moron.
You don't know what two terms I'm talking about.
I'm almost done with you, Unorthodox. Either you expand on what fucking terms you're talking about, or I'll kick you out, you useless twat.
I just told you the geometric horizon is the different thing from the apparent horizon, Nathan. They're two different things.
Is your apparent horizon the one being refracted? Unorthodox?
Well, in my view, the Earth is a sphere. Okay, it has a geometric horizon. Light comes and hits that geometric
don't need your religious belief asserting. I don't need your religious belief asserting. Right? So you're saying we've got two horizons. They're different things. One's geometric, one's apparent. Now there's two responses to that. Number one, the geometric horizon, the one in your model, is also, by definition, as are all horizons, apparent. The geometric horizon is apparent based on height. So adding in a redundant term to give you two horizons when all of them are, all horizons are apparent by nature, is meaningless nonsense. Number two, we don't have two horizons. We only have one horizon. Your horizon, in your geometric model that asserts we're standing on a physical sphere, is a geometric horizon, shock horror. But by your own admission, the horizon we see is not geometric. So we don't have a geometric horizon. Your model requires one.
There's no way you can be misunderstanding this, Nathan. It's really not that complicated.
That's another fucking ad hom. So you're implying that I'm stupid and don't understand your point when you tell us that there are two different definitions for a horizon, and therefore two horizons? No, I do understand. We only have one horizon. You haven't acknowledged the fact that we only have one horizon. You haven't acknowledged the fact that if you are going to base a second horizon on a geographic location that you don't have, that would be non sequitur and circular reasoning, and merely reification of a model that you can't see and does not exist, by your own admission. But you're not acknowledging that, you're just ad homing me and telling me I don't understand. Over and over again, maybe you'll reassert that we have refraction for the fourth time. And I'll tell you that means the horizon's not geometric for the fifth time. Who knows? Let's see.
I'm not saying you don't understand. I'm saying you do understand, and you're pretending that you don't understand.
That's another fucking ad hom.
Wow!
So that's another ad hom. Ad hom after ad hom after ad hom. So you're not capable of addressing my rebuttal. My rebuttal being that A, we don't have two horizons. And B, you can't move a refracted horizon and then claim it's geometric because it isn't. So you're screwed both ways and you're not acknowledging me, just constantly ad homing me.
You're
that was a major projecting there. Incredible. I wonder if he even realizes it.
Because he doesn't even understand what he's arguing about. That's the problem.
He described in detail exactly what he was doing, how he was ignoring your argument, and he flipped it around and put it very eloquently in your shoes. But it was a perfect projection. That was incredible.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting pissed off with more and more and more as the days go by. All they're doing is projecting their frustrations and irritations and inability to cope with this argument onto me and Quantum Eraser. It's driving me nuts.
Nathan, can I make a suggestion when you have a chance?
Good.
Thank you. Every time at the moment when one of the ballers comes in here and they start arguing about the Black Swan, they don't want to talk about the Black Swan, but they have to argue about it because they're in here. So, and what happens is they start throwing in our model this, our model that. I don't think they should get to start arguing about the Black Swan straight away. I think it would be better if they're saying they're globe believers, they should be asked, have you got a model? If they say yeah, ask them to define that model. If they can't define it, then they have to relinquish that model. If they do define it, then they have to support what they say it is with evidence. If they can't do that, then they have to relinquish this model. Because what happens is they come in and start arguing about the Black Swan, and they keep saying, our model this, our model that, our model the other thing. Show us this model. They're already... They should have to get past that before... Sorry, Chocolate. They should have to get past that point before they're even allowed to talk about the Black Swan. They should have to either say, okay, I can't come up with a model. Okay, so you can't claim a model. No, not the models matter.
That's literally what they're doing, though. Every time they deny the physicality of their geometric horizon, they're denying the physicality of their model.
Yeah, yes, but they don't have to admit it. They're not saying they're not saying I can't support the model that I'm talking about. They're not saying that before they even get to start, because they're already claiming this model.
While their basis of calculations is denying our model.
One second. Are you claiming a model? Unorthodox.
Yeah, Chocolate just
said have a globe model. Yes or no?
Using our model for the basis of our calculations.
Do you claim to have a globe model?
Well,
what? Unorthodox? Do you claim to have a globe model? Yes.
I think it's a more important question.
Hold on, let him go. I want to hear where this goes.
Yes,
Unorthodox. Did you say yes?
Real. That's the question.
Hang on. Hold on, Arwin. I just want to see where this goes. Go on, Brian. Let's see what he's got to offer.
Thank you. Unorthodox. Did you say yes? Do you agree that you have a globe model?
I don't personally have a model myself.
Hang on. I'm asking you a question. Is there a globe model that you refer to?
Yeah. Yes.
What type of model is it? Can you define that model?
Okay, and in terms of the Earth, it would be the WGS map.
The WGS. Okay, and so your model is the WGS 84.
Whatever the current version is. I forget what the exact current version is. They update it constantly.
WS84. And is that an ellipsoid?
Roughly, yeah. It's
okay.
It's a sphere, but ellipse, what you want to call it, sure.
Yeah, but is a WGS a sphere or an ellipsoid?
Well, it's not a perfect sphere, so I guess it would be classified as a form of an ellipsoid.
But what's it classified as?
It's a flattened ellipsoid.
Flattened ellipsoid. So that's what you're claiming your model is.
It's a spherical Earth that conforms to all the topography of Earth.
Say again.
And all the
not spherical
kind of chubbiness at the bottom.
It's not listening. He doesn't listen. It is a flattened ellipsoid. Please stop saying it's spherical.
It's a three-dimensional
flattened ellipsoid
model of
flattened ellipsoid
Earth.
model.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm not
flattened
talking
ellipsoid. You think we live on a flattened, squashed ellipsoid, do you? That's your model, is it? The WGS84. Wow.
I mean, it's the basis for like
it's a flattened ellipsoid.
Flights,
it's the basis of a flattened ellipsoid.
All military operations.
Flattened ellipsoid is what it is. You don't know what the WGS84 is. What is a flattened ellipsoid, unorthodox?
It's our model of Earth, Nathan.
Is it? I thought your model of Earth was sphere-shaped.
Something that's
what
not
the pictures show. They don't show a flattened ellipsoid in the NASA pictures. What kind of fucktard are you? You think the NASA
I don't think he defined what type of model
you think,
it was either.
You think the blue marbles are flattened ellipsoid? Is that what you think? You think the blue marbles are flattened ellipsoid? You complete retard.
Is your kid in front of you today, Nathan?
Yeah, okay, I know. You think WGS84's flattened ellipsoid is the model of Earth. Okay. Yeah, you're a retard.
I really hope your kid's not in front of you today.
Sorry, is that an ad hominem attack? Is that an ad hominem attack because you've claimed WGS84, you don't know what it actually is? I've pointed out the shape of it, and now you're asking about my children. What a cunt.
Well, you're...
What cunt? What an absolute cunt. You fuck. Get the fuck out of my hangout. Why are you talking about my kids as a rebuttal to an argument about flattened ellipsoid? You disgusting bastard. Who the fuck are these people? So you can't attack my argument, so you'll ask me about my kids? This is the level you scumbag globeheads will sink to these days. Yeah, you can't attack the argument, you can't defend your globe, but you can attack my kids. Why are you talking about my kids?
Death throws, and he's out of the hangout.
Sorry, Nathan, I wanted to go that direction.
No, it was all right. It's good to hear them say, "Oh, the WGS84 is my model."
Yeah,
that's not what NASA shows you.
Exactly.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, but it's good because they have to define a model, and then they have to support what they say it is. Either if they can't define it, they have to relinquish it. If they can define it, then they have to support it. I mean, how does the WGS84 explain, weather? You know what I mean? Because that's supposed to be part of their model. It's all nonsense. But if they have to relinquish it at the start, then they can't even claim a model after that. Because that's what they're all going back to. They always start with this model. Our model this, our model that. And they're still asking us for a model. They're still at it. The same very thing they have never been able to define, consistently. Because you ask a different baller, they'll tell you something else. They'll tell you it's Google Earth. You know what I mean? They never define it, and they never support it. But yet they're asking us for it for 5 years. They have to support their model, define it and support it before they. That's what I think anyway. Before they even get a chance, they don't even deserve to talk about the black swan. They don't know what it even is. Most of them.
Hey, sorry for interrupting you earlier, Brian. I was kind of wanting to add on your argument there because okay, that's cool. But I think that I think the more important question even isn't like what is their model. It's like, does he truly believe that the model is an accurate representation of reality now, with all the consequences that come with it and the black swan? I think that is the bigger question, because it just seemed like he was spending all his time just keeping the model apart from the reality, always bypassing the middle, as we are pointing at the middle, at the actual connection or the lack thereof. And I think the more core question is is the model an actual representation of reality?
Yeah, but this is
Exactly.
again the denial of their model because again they're calling the Q and the Modus Tollens a straw man because they say they don't believe that any horizon distance can be no more than 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height in feet if they have a radius of 3959. As soon as they say that's not what we believe, well, it's again not based on belief, based on the math, the geometry of your model that's been given to you. So keep denying it because it's hilarious. As far as I'm concerned, go ahead, keep denying it. That's the physical limit of your sphere.
The starting point is always mathematics. They always start with a calculation, a mathematical calculations, and then they
Bro,
try and twist optics and measurements to suit that calculation. That's all it is. The globe is a calculation. It's a mathematical equation. It's one big equation, and then they've been trying to make optics and physical measurements fit that. Back engineering reality to fit this nonsense for 500 years.
Well, probably more
and
the
if those
direction of 50 or 60 years, but
and if those parameters are wrong, then why is it when I take the proof of nothing beggar the question perspective hijacking curve calculator and I put in 1 foot, it gives me 1.2 miles. So what's that for? If we've never seen the thing. Are you
How did
kidding?
they find that out?
Exactly. Why are we having a calculation for something we have never seen? How does that help us?
Because they don't. Yeah, because they don't
It's
have
a
any
joke.
measurements. They
It's a
have
joke, man.
calculations.
It's a
Yeah.
wrap for you guys, man. It's pathetic.
It's no different what shape you make it. Outside a flat, you can make it any shape and add mathematics to it, and it won't make it any more credible. So any shape outside a flat is as credible as the globe model, if you understand what I mean, because it's all maths.
depends on what that model is going to presuppose, though. But yeah, the Earth definitely seems, and as far as measurable goes, the deducible it seems very much flat. Yes, that doesn't reveal everything about it and how big it even is, but the orientation of the landmass definitely seems flat.
Yeah, the geography seems to be flat.
So it's like an indirect way of going your route, right? You were trying to ascertain, do these guys even have a model? Well, dealing with the black swan, every rebuttal they have is a denial of their model.
Right. So that's why I wanted to kind of point out, maybe we should ask the more personal question. Do you think that your model actually represents reality at this point with everything that's happened? Because they seem to almost forcibly move their own consciousness around the whole issue constantly, while they've been doing that for a while, but now it's very persistent and keeping the actual optics and the measurements, or well, the photographs and the measurements in their model apart, completely compartmentalized, and just claiming it connects, but not looking at where it actually is supposed to connect. And I think that maybe we should just ask them, like, do you really believe that your model that you're working on right now, that you're thinking about right now, do you truly believe that that represents reality at this point?
So what you're saying is we should say to them, are you guilty of reification?
Yeah, basically.
Well, yeah, in the technical sense, but it's kind of more a personal question that way.
You could
like,
put your arm
are
around
you
them
sure you are doing what you think you're doing?
Well, you just put your arm around them and tell them, you are guilty of reification.
Okay.
The thing about it is, if they have to relinquish the reference point of the globe model that they talk about before they even get into start an argument, then if they have to relinquish this whole globe thing that they can't define or support as their model before they even get a start the argument and any kind of argument about anything, then the black swan photograph just becomes a very interesting, nice photograph because they can't make an argument because the thing they were supposed to be arguing for, they've had to relinquish.
From the very onset that Unorthodox came on, it was apparent he was gutter rat. He was not interested in pursuing truth. He avoided all the questions. This is all we got. All we got is the gutter rats of the ball, and we're not having a decent conversation because they end up ad homing and projecting like Arvin said, because I saw what Arvin saw as well. So we got to get a better crop of ballers here who are really interested in the reality they live in and ask pertinent questions and look at everything that their model says and test it by all means. But we're not getting that crowd. We're getting Unorthodox who comes here, pretends to be real, but all along his game plan is to somehow, some way trip up Nathan or QE or somebody else. And all they have is remorse. Just spewing out of them.
Well, projection.
But
I agree. Well said.
No matter who they are, though, no matter who they are to come in, if they have to define and then support their model, they won't have one. That's it.
I'm going to do a couple of quick plugs. So, for those of you not watching this live, or for those of you watching on Nathan Oakley 1980, first and foremost, if you did want to be watching this live, you need to be subscribed to my second channel. So there's a link below to Nathan Oakley channel. If you did want to watch these occasional live shows, they go out on a Friday afternoon on the second channel live. There's also weekend shows that go out and daily shows on the second channel, which are uncut and after show, which tend to have a bit more material, tend to get a bit more heated, maybe a bit more bad language after the live show. That said, this particular live show has had quite a lot of bad language, thanks to Unorthodox winding me up. So my apologies to anybody with younger audience members. My bad. Anyway, that's just how frustrated you get when people start attacking your kids rather than the argument. That's just the way things are. Unfortunately, my language gets a bit more blue when I'm attacked in that manner. Anyway, subscribe today to Nathan Oakley channel. Also, because this is going out at 2 PM on Saturday, this is pre-Ballbusters, so I can actually plug Ballbusters show and to the Friday live audience in Nathan Oakley. So Ballbusters on the Quantum Eraser YouTube channel. That's 1 PM. Is it 1 or 2 PM? 2 PM Central Standard?
1 PM.
No, I thought it was 1 PM. 1 PM Central Standard and 7 PM UK time on the Quantum Eraser channel. So that's Ballbusters live. Be here or be Sphere on Saturday the 22nd of February. That's, as I say, on Quantum Eraser channel. 7 PM UK time, 1 PM Central Standard. And obviously we'll be covering the Black Swan. What else are we covering this week, Quantum Eraser?
Black Swan and the Slar.
Slar, cool. Excellent. That should be fun. That's going to shout out.
Oh,
Flat Earth Early Bird. Let's do it. Let's do the Ballbusters. So subscribe today to Flat Earth Early Bird, which is on Arwin's channel, ARWIJN. Typically, it goes out before each of the live shows. Not in this instance, because this is on the second channel, slightly later in the day, but 1 PM Amsterdam time, 12 PM. No, 2 PM.
It's 2 PM Amsterdam time.
Get there in the end. 2 PM Amsterdam time, 1 PM UK time, and it's like 6 AM Central Standard, so it's pretty early in the morning, hence the name Flat Earth Early Bird. So be here or be Sphere, 1 PM UK time on ARWIJN, that's Arwin's channel. Also got Sleeping Warrior here, don't know if he's actually about, he's on mute and has been for a while, but check out Sleeping Warrior's channel. And who else have we got? Just gonna plug
Betty's Discord server.
Yeah, so Betty's gracious enough daily to let me use the Flat Earth Science versus Pseudoscience Discord server. So she literally lets me use it. Very gracious that it is. I'm very grateful to the server owner, which is Betty Van Velsen. Thank you very much indeed for letting me use the server. So check out Flat Earth Science versus Scientism. That's the Discord server that we use on a daily basis. There's a link below this live show and all live shows to join the server. Typically you join and you're immediately labelled as a baller until you're actually vetted, so to speak, and then you can have your status changed if you actually are a flat earther. But by default you're joined as a baller.
Don't forget Bible Literist.
Yeah, I was going to come to Bible Literist and Quantum Eraser. Obviously, Quantum Eraser, I've just shouted him out for Ballbusters. He's obviously one of the Ballbusters, along with Bible Literalist and Dr. John D. So check out Bible Literalist. Excellent member of the Ballbusters team. Very, very good channel. Same goes for Dr. John D. So check out Dr. John D. Chocolate's not got any
Adam
material.
Meakin.
Neither's 10th Man, but they're both on the credits. Adam Meakin. God, how could I forget? One of my favourite people. Adam Meakin of Iron Realm Media. So also Be Here or Be Sphere. It'll have gone out yesterday if you're watching this on Nathan Oakley 1980. But today, if you're watching this live, at I think it's 10:30, the latest time. Might be a bit later, 11 p.m. thereabouts. UK time on Iron Realm Media, and that's Have No Sphere, and that's the Iron Realm show. It goes out weekly on a Friday night, so check it out. Don't think I missed anybody. That's everyone, right?
Well, I think Quantum Eraser Rumpus, your shout out to me and 10th Man.
Yeah, he did, yeah. I said, although they don't have content, we've also got 10th Man and Chocolate Sane, who are very highly valued members of the Ballbusters team, but they don't actually have content to shout out, so there's no actual channel to direct you to, or no footage on the channels in either event. So, but still, massive shout out to 10th Man and Chocolate Sane, who are both ace.
Future cooking channel on the way.
Yeah, you can ignore that. I've got a few
I want to shout out 24/7 Flat Earth Discord 2.0.
Yeah. Jose.
Check it out.
Mesa.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Jose Meza. One of the admins over there. Awesome. Talking about Flat Earth 24 hours a day. So check it out.
Emma UK.
Yeah, Emma UK.
Emma.
Big shout out to Emma UK.
Yep.
Who's also got a Discord server, runs similar shows to this. Excellent stuff. The reason I've done all those shout outs and all those announcements is because this is about this sort of time-ish is a fairly big time for me personally in regards to YouTube and my channels. So as it stands, the main channel, Nathan Oakley 1980, is or has just tipped over 4 million views, and the subscriber count has just tipped over 17,000. So 2 reasonably big milestones in terms of that channel, literally in the last couple of days. And the second channel is about 25 subscribers short of 5,000 subscribers, and has tipped over 1.5 million views. So sort of 5.5 million, maybe 6 if you include the other little ancillary channels I've got. So quite a substantial number of million views and quite a substantial amount of subscribers, one of which is just, as I say, ticked over to 17,000. And the second channel, subscribe today if you're watching on Nathan Oakley 1980, is about to tip over to 5,000. So there's like a fair few little milestones I just wanted to get verbally down, and they're all noteworthy. But most importantly, I just want to thank everyone who supports me and actually subscribed to both of those channels. Now, obviously, there would be no channel, there'd be no monetary incentive, there'd be no super chats, there'd be no PayPal donations, there'd be no Patreons, there'd be no channel members, there'd be no shows if it wasn't for all the people actually subscribed and watching. So as much as I shout out all the Patreons, yes, obviously I appreciate it, I do have to eat, and I shout out all the channel members, literally the most important people, the thing that makes the channel, is the people actually watching. So a massive shout out to all of you in the audiences and all of you who are subscribed. I am eternally grateful to you all.
Yes, and that even includes you ballers. Thanks for being here, guys, and sharing your pain with us.
Yes, thank you very much. Share your pain. Bringing it back on track to the argument or the discussion we were having earlier, and you were explaining, Brian, that you want them to concede what their model is and what it does. You're essentially asking for a reverse order of the debates. So, had the debates have started with the Black Swan and then progressed on to them conceding what their model is, we'd have the order that you described. In reality, it's actually a better order. They've argued the toss about what their model is and the physical geometric values that block things, etc., for 2.5 straight years on the debates. We've got them all logged, they're all recorded, they're all available. So we know what their position is. Now, the fact that having declared their position quite boldly, they now come and deny it, is going to be the most telling part of this show to date. The audience members who are on the fence are going to be watching this going, oh my God. You know, if they've got even more than a month's worth of, maybe a bit more than a month, maybe more than 2 months worth of watching this show, they'll know what the ballers were claiming. They'll know their position's changed, and they'll know how their new position is untenable based on the geometric requirements of their model. So it's a very good time to be a flat earther in flat earth debate currently. I'm glad all the milestones have come in terms of number of subscribers and views and all the rest of it at this particular time, you know, especially in the year of the Black Swan.
No, I think that going the way I was suggesting would make the show less entertaining and shorter because, basically you're taking away the thing that they are going to come in and argue for, which is what you want them to do because they can't support it anyway. So you're correct. I mean, as far as the show goes, it's better. It is better in hindsight. It is better to not have them have to relinquish that at the start. It is better because then they are going to fight for that. You have to give them something to fight for. Even if it's nonsense. So that makes the show because you have all the contradictions you need. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it would be far more concise if we started the argument with them saying we have a geometric physicality to Earth that's sphere-shaped. That geometric physicality can be predicted in terms of how much obstruction you will have from the bottom up, based on how far past the tangent line we will draw to the physical geometric obstruction there is. And then we show them a black swan image and they go, we don't have a geometric horizon. My model doesn't work. And they'd say, oh, I'm so glad I've realised the Earth is flat. But that's in a real idealistic world. In reality, we've had them coming and telling us how physical and geometric the Earth world is and how the horizon is obscuring things. And now they come and lie about it and ad hoc the crap out of me and project their own pain onto us.
Yeah, sorry.
No, I was going to say, do you recall your end of the year show, 2019, how we said, we all had a feeling, everyone on the panel pretty much agreed that 2020 was going to be a very, very special year for Flat Earth. And it wasn't much long after 2020 started, then the Black Swan showed up. And now it's just gaining like a locomotive, just going downhill. And it's just like a freight train. It can't be stopped. I can't wait to see where it is 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. And by the end of the year, it's going to be a fantastic year.
And with that, I'll say if you are watching this on the Nathan Oakley 1980 premiering stream, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow. Unfortunately, if you're watching this live on Nathan Oakley channel, subscribe today. If you're not watching it live, then this is where I bid you farewell. A huge, massive, enormous thank you for tuning in, subscribing, getting me to over 5 million views across the two main channels, and all that good stuff. Of course, a massive thank you to today's Discord G+ panels for making this live show possible. Stay tuned if you're watching on Nathan Oakley 1980, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!